Before we begin the video, I have some exciting news to share. Build a Rocket Boy has organized a Reddit Q&A session with Adam Whiting, Assistant Game Director at Everywhere. If you're interested in learning more about his experience in game development or how it is to work on Everywhere, be sure to visit the Everywhere Games subreddit and leave your comment. You have until May 30th to submit your questions, so don't be late.
Everywhere.
Welcome to a new video where we'll be talking about all the latest news about Everywhere. You may have noticed that this video is labeled as number 1, and that's because this is the beginning of an ongoing series. As the weeks and months go by, we'll post more videos updating you on everything about the game so you don't miss a single detail. Welcome to Everywhere Chronicles Chapter 1. Last Tuesday, Everywhere updated their website with a fresh new look and new screenshots, along with something called the Builder Program, which we'll talk about later in the video. With that said, let's get to analysis of the new pics. In this first picture, we can see what appears to be an obstacle course. The location is very similar to the one we saw in other screenshots released in March. An interesting detail is this element that we've seen in the past, but we still don't know what it'll be used for. Also, this character is the same we saw on the Edge magazine cover. Moving on to the next picture, we see two characters outside Utopia City. Apparently, they are in a gunfight against other players. In the background, we can clearly see those buildings that appear all over the biomes around Utopia and the characteristic floating rocks. If we look at the characters' clothes, we can appreciate how detailed the clothing is, with feathery detailing on the trousers and jacket. We can also see how high we can jump thanks to the double and triple jumps we mentioned in the previous video. Zooming in, we discover these little triangles above each player. We don't know what they are, but it's probably so we can identify if a player is from our team or the opposite when playing death matches. In this other image, we can see the character's clothing up close. We've seen this particular pair of jeans before, but in a different color, which indicates that we will not only be able to choose between hundreds of items, but also modify the colors. The weapons follow the style of the rest of the screenshots we've seen. They're futuristic, and with red, blue, or green laser beams. And that's exactly what we see in this next screenshot, with this character wearing golden clothing and firing a gun, which creates a circle around it when fired. They've also posted this aerial view of one of the interior zones of the hub, where we get a closer look at the pink portals placed in various locations. It's a massive space filled with neon lights, and we can again see these big holograms placed on pedestals like statues. Will they be merely decorative, or will they serve to display the avatars of certain real players in the Everywhere world? These have been the new images from the website, but don't leave just yet because there's much more. A user from Discord was investigating the website's source code when he stumbled upon this photo that Build a Rocket Boy accidentally left there. It shows Utopia and its biomes from a point of view outside the planet. It's the first time we get to see the entirety of Utopia's map, and it makes us wonder what BARB has planned for the rest of the planet. At EverywhereNet, we had the opportunity to speak with one of the few journalists who visited Build a Rocket Boy offices, and they mentioned that BARB showed them this image, or a very similar one, explaining that the studio's plan is to create more biomes and expand the world. Everywhere will be a living and evolving world, so in the future there could be not just 4 biomes, but many more. Just imagine the possibilities for exploration and the creation of new content that this game could bring us over time. In addition to these 6 images, we received 4 more in a Twitter post, which we will of course also analyze right now. The first, and perhaps the most impressive, is from inside the hub. We see several people strolling, chatting, or simply resting under the shade of a tree. The character in the foreground is the same as the one featured in the Champion announcement, by the way, and he's wearing the same clothes. I wonder if we'll know more about this collaboration soon. The abundant and detailed vegetation is also particularly striking. Then, in the background, we can see some areas of the hub, giving us a sense of the true scale of this place. The next screenshot is of a car race outside the hub. We see 4 vehicles, one of them we haven't seen before. And all these golden cubes that are very reminiscent of Ready Player One, when a player died and all his coins were thrown up in the air for other players to keep. We can also see in the background these white and green vertical structures that we have already seen in other screenshots. At first glance, they may look like ruins, but we don't have any more information about them at the moment. Here, we have a closer look at the gallery. We had seen it in a previous image, and this time they show us another angle that reveals the enormity of this museum. The gallery will be filled with images and art created by Build a Rocket Boy, serving as inspiration for creating your own projects, as well as a place to spend time with your friends, of course. The last screenshot is of a multiplayer combat on a map with various heights. There are some interesting details in this image, such as the strange green and red cubes on the floor, or the detail of the lasers when hitting an enemy or a surface. If you look closely, you will see blue particles coming out, regardless of the color of the weapon you're shooting with. Finally, something important to mention, and that might be of interest to you, is the Builder program. Once you join it through their website, you might receive invitations to game design programs, gain experience with Arcadia, and be among the first to receive updates about the game. And that's all the news from the last few days. Stay tuned to Everywhere's social networks, and don't forget to join the Discord server if you haven't already done so. This is EverywhereNet. Thank you for listening. See you very soon.